Jeffrey is unsuccessful. He does all of the bad habits. You see him eating Doritos, and then he's scrolling on his phone without even cleaning his hands. And then after he's fat, he goes and plays video games. You see, Jeffrey is unsuccessful, and he wonders why. But it's pretty obvious to us. It's because he's like 99% of people. But then there's Adonis. And Adonis is the top 1% of man. You don't see Adonis doing any of the bad habits. He wakes up and he meditates for 1 hour straight, and straight afterwards he goes into the cold plunge. And then after he goes into the cold plunge for like 30 minutes, he does 5,000 hours of deep work. Adonis is successful because he's not like 99% of people. It's around October 2023, so this year, and I'm getting a message from one of the friends that I just recently made in my sixth form. And he messages me and asks me why I don't have any social media. And at this point I realise and just remember that to be successful, you have to be kind of different. And even slightly weird. You've got to be the type of guy who gets questioned for why he has his phone on grayscale, who gets questioned for why he doesn't have social media, who gets questioned for why they don't play video games, who gets questioned for why they don't do the bad habits. Now, you see, I'm not really successful. I'll just tell you the truth. I'm not successful yet. But I've noticed this similarity between successful people, and it's common sense, right? If you want to be the top 1%, you can't be like 99% of people. Just makes sense, right? So, hold on. I just forgot. I just knew I forgot, and I thought I'm not even going to talk. Successful people are not like 99% of people. And it's common sense. Like, the top 1% of person can't be like the 99% of people, otherwise it wouldn't be in the top 1%. And most of them, coincidentally, right, most of them don't do Jeffrey activities. They don't watch porn. They don't play video games. They don't have social media. They don't eat junk food. Most of them fast throughout like 80% of the day. Most of them don't do bad habits. Most of them do a lot of good habits, like they meditate, they read, they journal, exercise. They're pretty much on self-improvement. And most people get confused to why are these guys successful? Why? Like, it's because they're not like 99% of people. You see these Jeffreys complaining, oh, it's not fair, like you might find this guy in like your school or in your class who will start complaining why some people get great, like in, I don't know about, like, we'll just say, I was gonna say grade 9, but then Americans wouldn't be able to get it. Like, they'll be like, oh, why does he get an A star? Why does Jack get an A star? But why does Adonis get an A star, but I don't? And it's just like, probably because he's not doing what you're doing. Most of the time, it's not adding stuff in. It's mostly taking away things. It's that these guys who are getting the top grades, who are making a lot of money, who are successful, they're not doing what you are doing. It's not necessarily that they're doing sometimes they're doing something you're not, but a lot of it as well is that they're not doing things that you are doing. Guarantee you, a lot of these guys don't scroll on TikTok all day. They don't waste time. They don't eat junk food. They don't play video games. They don't watch porn. They don't do the bad habits. If you want to be successful, you can't just be doing what everyone else is doing and expecting different results. Like, you've heard like this quote, like everyone starts like parroting this quote. It's kind of cringe now, where it's like, oh, insanity is doing the same thing over and over without and expecting different results. If you're seeing what someone else is doing and it's clearly not working out for them, why would you do the same thing and think it works out for you as well? A man learns from his mistakes, but a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. And a big mistake that 99% of people are making is that they're doing actions that the 99% are doing. If you are on the side of the majority and you're not getting good results, you might need to change something up a bit. Now, you might say that, oh, well, Elon Musk plays video. Oh, well, Mike Tyson plays video games, right? But you're not. Are you Mike Tyson? Are you Elon Musk? No. You're a guy in your bedroom watching another guy in his bedroom talk to you about being successful when neither of us are successful yet. Right? So the least we could do is look at what the successful people do, what the majority of the successful people do, and just take a page out of their book. Don't go to the outlier and say, see, that guy's, even though he's an outlier, he plays video games, so it's okay for me. You're not that guy. You're the type of guy who will need to go on a dopamine detox. You will need to quit all of these bad habits because they're not doing good for you. They're keeping you in the same place that you have been in, and the place that you are in right now is a place that you do not want to be in. You are in a place right now where you don't want to be in, and here you are trying to keep the things in your life that are keeping you at this position. The truth is, bro, video games are the reason you are still in this position. Video games are the reason you're watching me tell you how to be successful. It's the reason you clicked on this video, and this isn't probably the first one you've clicked on. You've clicked on hundreds of these videos talking about how to be more productive, how to be more successful, watching motivational videos, and you're not doing anything with them. You're not changing your life. The reason why is because you're trying to keep in the things that you've been doing for the longest time, and you know what? 99% of people are doing them. 99% of people are eating junk food all day, are scrolling on TikTok, having social medias, who play video games and who watch porn, and you're wondering why you're not like the 1%. Guarantee you, if you went to like the top grade guys in your school and asked them what they did, maybe like in school, to be honest, like most people are brain dead anyway, so they might still have social media and whatnot. But they're not stupid, bro. These guys revise. They're not wasting as much time as they think they are, to be honest. It's a bit weird to use the example of like top grade students, because the truth is, bro, like the top grade students kind of don't do the bad habits. It's hard to explain, but it's like, just on a side tangent, the top grade students still might play video games, they still might eat junk food, they're still pretty much Jeffries. But at the same time, I think a lot of them, I just got a thought then, that a lot of them don't play on weekdays because their parents tell them not to. They are told to study because their parents tell them to. They're held accountable, so it's like they kind of don't do what you do. They're kind of not doing what the 99% are doing, because the 99%, bro, what are they doing, bro? They play video games for hours on end, no restrictions. You might be one of these people as well. You might be scrolling on TikTok watching how to be better at Rocket League, and then it's like this one tip which tells you, oh, you need to understand first man, second man, and third man. And the first man always goes for the ball, but the third man should play defense. And make sure you play back post. It's like, if you're watching this type of content where it's just brain dead, and you're wondering, why am I not getting an A star? It's obvious. It's obvious. If you analyze your life critically, with no bias, forget all your emotions, or like, oh, don't cope. Don't be like these Jeffries who cope and be like, oh, but 1 hour of video games, you're not playing 1 hour. The truth is, unless like you're 10 and you're like, your mum's gonna tell you to get off the game and you need to get off the game, fair enough. You are probably not one of these people. I'm just gonna be truthful to you. You're probably not one of these people who play 1 hour and then that's done, right, back to studying. You probably struggle to study. So and the truth is, bro, I did as well. We need to get onto a dopamine detox. This is how we fix it. We need to get onto a dopamine detox. And now this is not science, but I got a PhD in bro science, so you're gonna learn from me. You need to cut out all the bad habits. Because once you start cutting out all the bad habits, you'll become happier and you'll become more motivated, and you will be an absolute unit. Because you won't be doing what the 99% of people are doing. You'll be the guy who's waking up early whilst your competition are sleeping. You'll be the guy who's done 1 hour of deep work whilst they're scrolling on TikTok. You'll be the guy who's doing unimaginable things in his day. You'll be the guy who shocks people. You'll be the guy who people get confused about as to why you don't have social media, why you're so productive. People will be asking you questions, and people will be looking at you as if you're a bit weird, but in a good way. In a way that people can see that you're on an amazing trajectory. Sorry, my throat's dry. Hold on. There's not even thingy in the water, bro. You'll be on an amazing trajectory. And people won't even see you as the same person anymore. They'll see you as an upgraded and evolved version of yourself. Because that's what you're going to go through. You're going to get onto a dopamine detox, like monk mode style thing. And you're just going to drastically improve your life. You're going to drastically cut out all the bad habits. Nothing. Keep nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I'll tell you what you're going to replace it with. Because it's kind of hard to just cut out all your bad habits and then just sit there, right? Because it's kind of hard. You're going to cut out porn, video games, junk food, social media, any sort of instant gratification. And I know as well, by the way, I know when I've said like video games, a lot of people, a lot of nerds who play like flipping Fortnite all day have just gotten angry. I mean, but season 5 map is coming back tomorrow, November 3rd, guys. Oh, season 5 map. And then when they get their test results back, they start complaining when they got like single-digit marks. These same guys who are coping about video games, oh, but 1 hour of video games is fine, but Fortnite season 5 map. Do you see these guys? I promise you they're not doing well in exams. If you literally look at their results, and they're not good. You look at these guys' results, and you literally see the look on their face, and they're like, they start getting angry and complaining that it's unfair. It's not unfair, it's that you've been a Jeffrey. I know I'm just ranting, but this genuinely gets on my nerves when I see these idiots, these Jeffreys, who will talk about, oh, like Spider-Man 2, oh, Fortnite Season 5 map, oh, like, new video game, oh, see this funny thing on TikTok, bro. Oh, see this thing on Netflix, bro. We should go to this thing sometime. You see these guys, these Jeffries, maybe even some of your friends. You see these guys who've got nothing going for them. If let's just think it's gonna be brutal, right? But just imagine 5 years from now, the difference between you and him when you're on dopamine detox, when you're cutting out instant gratification and it's became a lifestyle, when you're watching content like this where you're continuously learning, when you're continuously improving and your trajectory is exponentially growing, versus this guy who's scrolling on TikTok all day, who's playing Fortnite, who's on Netflix watching anime, or who's eating junk food and now his brain doesn't even work properly anymore, who's fapping and now he doesn't have any drive to grab life by the balls. His trajectory is not going to be going upwards. And honestly, bro, it might even bring yours down as well. So I'm not saying you need to cut out this guy, but you can't be like him. Like I say, if you want to get the results of the 1%, you've got to do things which the 1% do, and you've got to cut out the things which the 99% do, which means you are going to have to cut out all bad habits. And the way you do this, if you are heavily addicted to them, is first, you don't necessarily need to cut them out completely. You can reduce them over time. So, for example, let's say, this is a personal example for me, right? I was heavily addicted to video games. Like an average day, on a school day, I'll tell you an average school day. Wake up, go to school, come back home, eat something, come back upstairs, turn on the console and immediately start playing video games until I had to go to bed, which usually was from 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. till 10 p.m. So, on average, on a school day, I was playing 6 to 7 hours a day. And you know what, bro? Most of the time, it didn't even feel like enough. Most of the time, it didn't even feel like enough. And I was heavily addicted to this. And so, the way I'd recommend... I'll tell you the way I actually went about it. At first, I did like a complete dopamine detox where I just cut it out for 7 days, and I tried not to play once, and to be honest, it was super hard, it was super tempting, but I pushed through. And I played genuinely I got on, and then my friend called me because I was doing it with a friend, so we both held each other accountable. And he called me, and then I realised I should not be doing this, and I immediately turned it off. But the way I would go about cutting out any bad habit is by reducing it over time. So let's say, for example, you have a crazy porn addiction and you watch it every single day. What I would do is over time just reduce it. So maybe this month, you literally, in this month it's November, so all the cringe guys oh no, not November, idiots. It's just, I'm going to make a whole nother video about that because this rant is going to get too long. But you're going to cut out this bad habit by reducing it over time. So let's say you watch it every day. Maybe this month or next month, you just reduce it by 1 or 2 days. So you can literally, let's say the month is 30 days, you can literally play video games, eat junk food, do whatever bad habit it is for 29, 28 days, and then just 2 of those days of the month, you literally just don't do it. Now, it doesn't sound so hard, does it? Like, you know, and by the way, you'll know if you need to quit some of these bad habits because you'll see it ruining your life. You might be, for example, I remember one time I had a parents' evening, and it kind of went well, but kind of like one of them didn't go well, I think. And I remember my mum saying to me it's pretty much because of the video games, and I even knew it was true. And then it just takes away your life. It just takes away the progress that you could be making. It just takes away your drive and everything. All of these bad habits will ruin you if you do not cut them out. So please take this seriously. You can either cut them out if you're really confident that you can sustain this, cut them out and never use them again, cold turkey. But for a lot of people that doesn't work, and for me, I wouldn't really recommend doing that because I literally, like, on the same day when after that parents' evening, I went home, I cut it out. I ended up crying because I was so bored. I was so bored that I ended up crying. And then I went, played back. It was literally like I had withdrawal symptoms from video games. So the way to get rid of these addictions, like I say, cut them out over time. So for the first month, maybe you cut out 2 days. Second month, 4 days. And over time, like maybe in 6 months' times, you'll literally go from doing it every day to maybe doing it 50% of the time, and then the other 50% of your month is productive, which is amazing because that's better than 99% of people, because 99% of people are doing at least one of the bad habits every single day. And what you can replace it with is watching educational content like this. So not all content consumption is bad. Educational content, watching long form podcasts, reading books, watching online courses, watching self-improvement like Alfie's videos, watching them is actually useful. And because this is unedited as well, or barely edited, is that you'll just naturally stop frying your dopamine receptors, PhD in bro science. You'll naturally be healing your brain because you have to train your attention span to watch this far. Like, if you've been staying here so far, you've listened to me talk for 22 minutes straight, and I've not even had editing. And now, imagine how much better your dopamine receptors are, because you're not frying them by scrolling on TikTok and then you're getting a dopamine hit every single 5 seconds. And you're not just jittering around as if you've literally got ADHD. Like, most people nowadays, 99% of people, it's said they have an attention span worse than a goldfish. Like, you literally can't hold attention for more than 3 seconds. Like, do you know how bad that is? 3 seconds. I know we're just talking about dopamine detox and how to be successful, but bro, it goes deeper than that, bro. Because when you live life trapped by these addictions, you feel horrible. Every day, you just almost feel like you're in this depressive state that you can't get out of, and the only way to get out of it is to do the habits which caused the problem in the first place. And I know it can just seem super hard because, to be honest, bro, you can't really tell anyone about these addictions because 99% of people won't understand that you struggle with these and these are a problem. And then these guys will encourage you to play video games, to watch porn, to watch anime, to watch Netflix, to eat the junk food, to do these bad habits. I literally had a person who was in my friend group. He wasn't my friend. Like, now that he was my enemy, looking back at it, if I'm being completely honest, because like he did not want the best for me, but he, at one point, he literally encouraged me to fap. He tried encouraging me to fap. Obviously I didn't give in because I thought you're an idiot. I don't even know why he wanted me to, because it's like it does nothing for him. He was weird, bro. I can't even lie. He's just weird, man. Like, nah, bro. That's just disgusting, bro. I know it can feel scary to be like, wait, what? Don't be like 99% of people, but like everyone will think I'm weird. But the alternative is that you carry on staying where you are, where you're unsuccessful, where you're unhappy with your life, where you feel pretty much depressed. So, even though it can seem scary to not be like 99% of people, if you get onto dopamine detox, and if everyone gets onto dopamine detox, we can be around a brotherhood of guys, a kingdom of guys who aren't addicted to social media to the point where you're talking to them and they're scrolling on their phone. You'll be around guys who are genuinely happy and who don't need video games or junk food or Netflix or anime or porn to stimulate them. Guys who are so peaceful with their life that they can appreciate nature, they're present and mindful with you so that they can focus because they have finally developed a good attention span. So when you're talking to them, they're truly listening. And I wish that for all of us, man. So I know it can seem like this is some clickbait video of like, why 99% of people will never be successful, but, and I know like the advice in this video can seem a bit generic, but it goes so much deeper. Because when we're around a brotherhood of guys who have been dopamine detoxing, who are present and grateful, who aren't overstimulated, our lives will be so much better. And if you want to be around guys like that, hit the subscribe button below. Got ya.